It is Saturday morning in Jackson and West Tennessee, and time for Tricks of the Trade at 93.1 WTJS-FM. Here's our host, John Allen. Hey,
morning, man. Jim. How are you?
I am excellent. What do you know?
Oh, man, I know it's a little chilly outside. I like it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be that way for a little while. You know, it is fall after all.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I was in downtown Jackson yesterday participating in the Coins for Kids thing with 101.5 and 93.1 Grace Broadcasting. And thanks to everyone who participated in that, by the way. The numbers are just absolutely mind-boggling. And they're not finished counting yet, but as of right now on Saturday morning, our goal was $5,000. We're just slightly under $14,000.
Wow. That's great.
For the Carl Perkins Center and the Rusty Mack Adopt-A-Teen. So thank y'all for jumping in and helping out. Where I was going with that, though, is I noticed, I looked across there, and there it was, man. Shades of my childhood. Santa's house is back on the corner.
Yeah, and I opened up the paper this morning, and we're on the front page of the paper.
Wow, man, good deal. Good deal. I haven't done. I can't see small print this time of the morning.
Well, you know, lots of things can go on. We can have crazy elections. We can have COVID, but Santa's coming to town.
Santa may have to wear a mask because we're under the mandate again.
Hey, we got that all worked out.
Yeah, good deal.
And it's going to be safe. It's going to be fun, and we're going to take care of the children and keep a little hope for Christmas.
You got it.
So we all right.
Man. That's what it's all about. Call John this morning at our call-in number 731-891-6161, or you can text us if you'd like at the Victory Honda text line 731-410-7560. So where are we headed this morning? What's on
we're going to talk about something real important first this morning.
All right, let's do that.
And that is, it's fall. It's that time of the year.
Yep.
And we've already said that Santa's coming to town.
Right.
But we also got something else happening next weekend that is just really good. I mean, it's just something to look forward to every year.
You better believe
that everybody benefits from.
Yep.
Especially your stomach. and that is, we're going to make some stew.
Yes, we are.
You and I and our team are going to jump out there at Aldersgate United Methodist Church on
next week.
Yeah, we'll start cooking Friday.
Yep.
And it's got to sit there and get happy.
Cogitate.
Yes, do all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Got the trolling motor ready to come out, so nothing sticks on the bottom.
Hey, don't suggest that. Our overnight crews will be looking for an excuse not to be there.
They are the motor, the trolling motor.
They are the trolling motor. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it next weekend, Saturday morning.
Yeah, and we've had to modify things a little bit for those of you who have bought and eaten stew with us at Aldersgate over the years. Normally we have a luncheon on the inside from 11 to 1. Well, because of COVID, and now more than ever with the spike that we're enduring, we're not going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to sell the baked goods and the cookies like we normally have either. But we didn't want to let a 35-plus year tradition not happen. So we're going to make it happen, and it's going to be all carry-out. And you can call the church office best to call before noon if you possibly can. Under the current circumstances, may or may not be someone there in every afternoon. So 427-4887 is the Aldersgate Church number. Just call and tell them how many quarts you would like to have. And again, because of COVID and the uncertainty, we're actually cutting back on the amount that we make this year. So
you say. We're still going to keep a box of stretcher.
That's right. We only going to clean 2, but no, but it'll be good. It's $6 a quart, and it'll be packaged in styrofoam cups that you can go straight home and eat it out of the cup if you want to, or you can stick it straight in the freezer. And I'm still eating on stew from last year, and it's just as good today as it was the day it was made. So
that's exactly right.
It's good stuff.
And it's all made right there. We don't have none of this cook it off site and dump it in the pot and warm it up stuff.
No, we don't guess at it either. I mean, we start. I know this is going to sound crazy to people who don't do this, but we start with exactly
Here it comes.
13 and a half inches of water.
In a white, coming out of a white hose.
Yeah. That's just that's a little bit of an inside thing there, but we know we've been doing it long enough. We kind of got the process down and the amounts and everything down, and it's always amazing, John. Somebody every year, and bless their hearts, we love to hear it. They're going to come up to you and say, "Man, I believe that it's the best stew y'all have ever made."
That's right.
And we know that it's the same recipe every year. We don't deviate. So. But it must be atmospheric. I don't know what else it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now, everybody needs something to feel good about, though. I mean, I'm so tired of all this mess going on, and get your mind off of it and have a little warm bowl of stew. And,
Yep.
And I've had people that just looking for something good to do or putting up Christmas decorations early and doing everything they can to kind of get their mind off the real stuff.
Exactly.
And,
exactly. Yep, that's coming up next week at my house, and we've talked about that last week on some honeydews or some tricks of the trade on what to do and what not to do when you're putting up your Christmas stuff.
Well, there was I won't say a promise, but there was an inclination to put my tree up early.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I got it down. I set it in the spot and I erected it, but it's not decorated yet.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. It was a fleeting moment.
Well, you got to get in the mood.
The staff kind of went someplace else and ended up going shopping or something.
Yeah. Well, what'll happen though on Thanksgiving? You get stuff full of turkey and dressing and taters and all that good stuff. And then you'll find that recliner, and you'll wake up with about 2 minutes to go in the ball game you thought you were watching.
Yeah.
And then the next day you'll feel okay, and you'll decorate.
No, I won't.
You won't? You will.
No,
will.
see, I don't see.
Yeah.
It is a proven fact that if there is not one thing on the tree, zero.
Yeah.
It's just a tree standing there.
Right.
And if I reach over in the box and pull out an ornament and hang it on the tree, the very first one.
Yeah.
It will be in the wrong spot.
Of course.
Exactly. And don't even get me to put an icicle on.
I love your story of blowing, when the kids were little, blowing icicles on with a vacuum cleaner. And then the Secretary of War called a meeting.
I'm going to tell that story.
Do that. We get us in the Christmas mood.
We had I used to get live cedar trees.
Yep.
Came from somewhere. We never knew where they come from, but we saw a pretty one on the side of the road. Had my eye on it. And if a saw come out and we got it and we drug it back to the house,
yep,
that was okay.
You're the Clark Griswold of Jackson,
there you
Tennessee.
Go. Well, back in those days, I lived in a different house and it had a vaulted ceiling, which is, that was kind of common back then.
Yep.
So I had from the floor to the top, it was 14 and a half feet.
Right. You needed a big one.
So I needed a big tree, big old cedar tree.
Yep.
So we would go find one. It was an event. The kids would come, even the relatives of this establishment right here. The Parhams would go with me.
Yep.
And we would go out and find a tree for them and for us, and it was an yearly event. Went on for years. Well, we got the tree up. Everything's lovely. Put the water in the bottom of it, and it's time to decorate it. Well, you got a big old fat cedar tree.
Yep.
And you got 14 and a half foot of tree, and you got to decorate it, and that's kind of tough off of a 6-foot ladder, when you're kind of fat at the bottom and leaning towards the middle. I'm talking about the tree now.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy putting the stuff on.
Well, that would be me, and that was true too. But anyway, back in those days, you bought these icicles.
Yep.
And put them on. Now, my lovely wife did things different. She's a Yankee American, and you would carefully take a single sickle out of the wrapper,
right,
and lay it gently, dangling just at the right angle.
Oh yeah,
down on the limb of the tree, and then you would fetch another one.
Is she one that is symmetrical, that when she put it on, it had to hang the same distance on either side?
Had to.
Oh, I thought there was only one, and I had.
Must have learned from her. And I know who that is too.
Yeah, yeah.
But you couldn't free sickle. You had to lay those sickles just exactly on
right.
the limb. Well, she decided to go somewhere one day. I don't even remember where it was. And it's just me and Nick and Ben and Josh. We were left there to sickle the tree.
Right.
I said I could handle this.
Yeah.
But, laying them on one at a time, that was...
Not with four guys.
No. We had to make an adventure out of this. Well, back in the day, and I'm always thinking of ways of doing things differently. You got to deal with what you got. I'm not one of these that goes out and buys one of these sickle layers or whatever you want to call them. We had what was called, at the time, a brand new fang-dangled rainbow vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
You put the water in the bottom of that, and you'd hook the hose up, and it'd suck the bark off the tree.
It'd make mud.
It would do it. And not only would it suck, it would blow.
Yep.
Well, I figured, if it could suck, it could really blow. So I decided to make a launching pad with my rainbow vacuum cleaner. Now, when you buy a rainbow, I'm sure they're still around. They don't tell you that this is an added feature that you don't have to pay extra for. But I could sit on a stool and have my rainbow vacuum cleaner by my side and move the hose to the other side to where it's blowing instead of sucking.
Yep.
And I could dangle a single icicle in front of it, hit the button, and whoosh, it'd throw it up on the tree. Well, once we did a couple of those, what's better than one sickle but two sickles?
Handful.
No, we were progressive sickling.
Oh, okay, all right.
So we would dangle a few. I remember Ben would kind of drizzle them down, kind of hold them up above it and let them kind of free fall.
Yeah.
And I'd catch them midair with a hose and launch them up on that tree. Well, we went through a box of sickles pretty quick.
Yeah.
We still had a lot of tree left, so we went and got more sickles.
Oh, Lord.
And pretty soon, my little rugrats were grabbing them by the handful, wadding them up and dropping them in front of the missile launcher by a vacuum. And we were throwing wads of sickles on the tree.
Oh, man.
It was pretty.
I bet.
I mean, it was. We had those silver sickles and blue sickles and green sickles. We were a sickle sight, I'm telling you.
I bet you were.
And they were all over the tree. A little wadded up. They wasn't laid symmetrically.
Of course not.
It wasn't a perfect
But neither
tree.
would Mother Nature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good wind could have done the same thing.
Sure.
We were in the house and couldn't open the windows.
And you a contractor.
So here I am. We had this thing done in just maybe 10 minutes, where it used to take hours to do this sickle menagerie. Well, all was good. We were sitting back. We were admiring our work. It was beautiful. It was.
It's a thing to behold.
And then she came home.
Ooh.
Walked in the door, laid the sack of groceries on the table, and turned. And the expression on her face, I will never forget. Do you remember watching old Cosby episodes? Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
Back before when he was doing good stuff?
When we thought well of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he talked about the woman who her face would just turn bad and the evil would come out and all these things. Well, that's what happened. That beautiful little smile that she would have on her face flipped upside down, her jaw dropped. I think her hair went spiky at that point, went straight out. What have y'all done? Well, now the boys were excited. They thought they'd really done something nice.
They were looking for a pat on the back.
They had been with Daddy that afternoon, and we did a good thing. It didn't work. I had to reverse sickle my rainbow and suck them off.
Man, bummer.
But I didn't put them back on. And that's when I got demoted. I don't do Christmas decorations on the tree anymore.
The part that I don't like And I remember the sickles, and we just kind of stood back and pitched them at it. You know?
That's the way you do it.
And it was okay, I guess, there, But the thing that I don't like, and we do use an artificial tree because, I had all these allergies when I was a kid, so we couldn't have a live tree because I'd sneeze and hack all through Christmas if we had a live tree. I was just a delicate little flower back in those days.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yes. So we did the thing. I don't mind putting it together and putting it in the stand and getting out of the way.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not patient enough to track down where all those little wires are that need to go together to make it light up, right?
Oh, yeah.
She can do that. She's a very patient person, and as long as I'm not there bothering her, she don't mind doing that. And I hate fluffing the tree. Where you got to pull the little
I got to do that now.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I
Bend them little branches out.
Yeah.
That's just wrong.
That's
Mother
just-
Nature doesn't get fluffed.
Well, Mother Nature creates them a little better than the manufacturer does, but
Hey,
yeah.
I remember my first artificial tree.
You do.
We got one of them aluminum ones.
Oh, we have one of those too, with the whirly light.
Well, now, you're getting a little uppity on me now.
Well,
Dan.
sorry.
Now, I got the 495 J.C. Penney 4.5 foot aluminum special.
There you
had
go.
The little paper tubes that you
Oh, yeah,
would
you could-
slide.
Yep.
We had the little tulip on the end of it. You
Oh,
remember
yeah,
how
I
they were?
sure do, man. I can see it right now.
You know those trees, 4.5 foot aluminum that I paid $4.95 for, my daddy did from J.C. Penney's back in the day,
Yep.
are $280
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. I was gonna say you can still get them for like Hammaker Schlimmer and places
Yeah,
like
whatever.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
when the lights went on sale afterward, them rotating lights
Yeah.
like you were talking about.
Right.
That was we got one of them then. It lasted a little while. It went from blue to yellow to red
and green.
Yeah, red
Yeah.
green
Uh-huh.
till one of the bulbs. No, wait a minute. It was a single bulb. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about my first color TV. We'll get to that story in a minute too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but yeah, that worked out pretty good. But Daddy, that was a light on the tree.
Yeah, well, I got in real trouble with that whirly light
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't really care for the red, green, and yellow. I like blue.
Mm-hmm.
And Elvis was talking about a blue Christmas, so I said, we need a blue tree.
There you go.
So I figured out in my non-mechanical little mind that if I took a piece of a toothpick and stuck it in there just so, it would stop that motor from turning. What I didn't realize that it eventually would burn the motor up. So we had to go buy another whirly light, and I was in trouble.
I thought you was fixing to say you had to sit under the tree and spin the wheel under Christmas.
That would have been terrible. Golly, that would have been terrible. We're waxing nostalgic today on Tricks of the Trade. John Allen here. 731-410-7560 is the Victory Honda text line. Come on, shoot us a text. And the call-in number is 731-891-6161, and that'll put you directly into the board, and you can talk to John. And we do have a text. It says, "Thank you, Mr. Allen, for the Santa house."
Oh, well, good. Glad to do it.
Yes, that's how easy it is to get in, and you can say something nice. You got a question? We'll take either one.
Yeah. I
What's
tell you-
what's the one as a child? What's the one Christmas present that you remember in your mind? You get an automatic picture of that thing sitting under the tree on Christmas morning. Sack of rocks, bag
No.
of walnuts.
I got a train.
That's right. A Lionel or
It was a train.
a train. Okay.
I couldn't read back then. I had a train that it wasn't one of them little tracks. It was the big wide track
Yeah.
that had and then I learned what trussels were
Yeah.
to where you could make that thing go up in the air.
Yeah.
And it had a caboose, and there was always this wire that went from the engine to the coal car that you had to plug in.
Okay.
And then you had your transformer out and had it clipped into the rails.
Yeah.
Everything was going fine. Well, I don't know what happened. I really can't remember, but that little wire that went from the coal car to the engine kept always getting broke. But I was lucky back then, lived on College Street,
Right.
and right down the street was a little fella, an older fella, a real nice fella, that he worked on trains.
Wow.
And I could go down there and he could solder that wire back on for me. He always fixed my train up. I wish I had that train. I don't really know what happened to it, but
Did yours have the feature where you could take a little pellet about the size of a saccharin tablet and drop it down in the I don't know what you call that thing, a chimney on the front of the engine,
I didn't
and
have
it would
that.
make smoke? Ours did, but we once you used up that little bottle that came with it, you didn't really know where to go to get them. So you'd go see Mr. Reitzheimer down at McGee Ross, and they had those things there.
that's right.
Sure
That's
did.
right.
We've got a text coming in here on the Victory Honda text line. It says, John, I'm looking for a vintage farmhouse sink. Wait a minute. I'm looking for vintage farmhouse sinks in working condition locally. Do you have any suggestions? Thanks.
Well, I run across those fairly regularly where I'm tearing them out. And matter of fact, I'm looking at a project right now that's got one of those sinks in it. And if you'll call my office first of the week and just leave me your name and number, when I run across one, I'll give you a call. Now, most of them are, they're old, they're extremely heavy.
Yep.
The finish on them is bad, but you can take those, and there are people that refinish those sinks and put a new glaze on it, and it'll look like a brand new one.
Yeah, you're talking about a porcelain finish now, right?
Yeah,
On those, yeah.
the cast iron, but farmhouse sinks are big business right now.
Yes,
Seems
they
like
are.
everybody wants one in their house.
Yeah.
I don't know why. We couldn't wait to throw them away.
Well, I think a part of that came from that DIY show. What was it called, Fixer Upper, that was shot out in Waco, Texas. I can't
Oh,
remember.
really?
Yeah, the Gaines family out there, and they would redo older houses, and her thing was a country look or a ranch style house, that sort of thing, and a lot of the things she redid had farm style sinks in them, with the exposed front and the whole 9 yards. So that was part of it, I think.
Well, yeah, but back in the 80s, for instance, in late 70s, they had no telling how many leg tubs we threw out. The old leg tubs you had.
Yeah, clawfoot tubs.
And the farmers would grab them up and make them for water troughs.
Yep, seen
They'd
that.
sink them in the ground. Some people put goldfish in them. I put one, my grandpa had one, and we sunk it out there for his mule to drink out of.
Yeah.
Trouble is, when the water would get down, the coons would jump in and steal the stopper because it had a little chain on the stopper that went in the leg tub.
Yeah.
And make the water run out. So
Yeah.
we were always having to run a hose out to it because when we put the stopper in it, the coon would see the silver little chain on the stopper.
Yep.
And come in and grab it and run off with a stopper.
Now, what does a coon need with a stopper?
I don't know, but one of them things.
Yeah, that's a new one on me now.
Well,
that's
that-
a new one on me.
I hadn't thought about it in years until we just brought that up.
I believe we are about to be favored with a 4-line ditty from the Ghost Poet.
Oh, I hadn't heard from him in forever.
Here we go. Get my poet voice on here.
Uh-huh.
So John Allen's vacuum sucks, and it blows too. Must have got it from the government because that's what they do. I love it. That is good.
That's right,
That
except
is
mine
good.
work, those don't.
Those don't. That's right. Here's another one. My grandparents had them. We're talking about the sinks and the tubs.
Yeah.
And I remember they were great for those without dishwashers because they were so user friendly. Yeah, they were. It's just a wide open. I mean, they didn't have a divider in them. Most of them did.
That's right.
Yeah. And I like the look. Now you got your interior decor has to kind of match that to make it work, But if you've got an old style farm type kitchen or ranch style kitchen, they'd really look cool.
Well, in the age of progression, there's a similarity between those big sinks and the number 2 wash tub.
True.
Because when you've had your young'un, you always took a bath in the sink. And we got big enough where he wanted to jump out, then you went to the wash tub.
That's right. So the fall wasn't
he wouldn't hit his head so bad.
That's true. And they're great for washing small dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you got a Mastiff, you don't want to lift up a 180-pound dog up in there, but.
Well, no, that wasn't the bad part. It's when he shook.
True. Yeah.
You'd wash the walls.
Wash the walls down.
Yeah.
That's true. Another text coming in from the text line says, "Now you're talking." Oh, lordy. Text line 410-756-0731 area code. You can get right on to the board here as we're doing. And the call-in line, the voice line, is 731-891-6161. And here's another texter weighing in this morning. A lot of the Bemis houses still have those sinks in them.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because they were built about the time that was
Yes, they do. Yeah.
That is a neat little community out there. If you're new to Jackson and Madison County and you haven't been out there, you owe yourself a trip down South Highland and just hang a right there on Bemis Lane and drive back into what I would call Bemis proper. And because that was unique in its day. It was a little mill town built around the Bemis Mill for the employees to live in, and it was pretty much self-contained back in those days. They had their own post office, their own stores, the whole nine. You didn't have to go anywhere. You could go to the store, go home, get up, and go to work, and you could probably walk there most of the time. We've got a call coming in, John. Let me see if I can get this to light up on the board there. Here we go. Go ahead.
Good morning. Welcome to Tricks of the Trade. How can I help you?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Okay, you were talking about that tub and that silver thing and that coon pulling that out, right?
That's right.
Okay. Back years ago when fur was bringing good money, people would trap in the wintertime for extra money, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to put you a little story, and if anybody else hears it, I wish they'd call them back. There was one old trapper. He sweared up and down to us young bucks, right? He said, you find you a clear running stream, and you put your trap in there, number 1.5 pedal trap, and put you a piece of aluminum foil over that pedal.
Yeah.
He said, I guarantee you, it have about a creek running clear water, about 1.5 to 2 inches of water. And he said, I guarantee you'll catch a coon. We standing around there, looking at one another. He said, you know what that's simulating, don't you? I said, no, sir. He said, that coon would think that's a shiner fish. You know what a little shiner fish is?
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wow.
How about
That's
that?
what he sweared up and down. If anybody out there hears it, I'd like to hear them back this up and see if that's really so. 'Cause we never tried it, we just looked at them old parts, and moved on, And of course, we done pretty good fire trapping ourselves, but these were some old timers, They might have been jerking our leg, but you think about your little silver chain and you think about that shiner fish.
Well,
Bright moonlit night.
That's exactly right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me this morning. We'll see if somebody else calls in about it.
Thank you, caller.
Y'all do them stories, so there's one for you.
All right, sounds good.
We'll add that one to the book.
All right.
Thank you, caller. And we got another one coming in here. Let me see if I can get this to fire up. That one, get that, and that. And there we go. Come on. There we go.
There we go. Good morning and welcome.
Hello. What about fire ants? Do you have a good remedy for fire ants?
Well, a good friend of mine gave me the name of a chemical for fire ants that and I'm going to have to call him up and get the ingredients on that, and I'll probably repeat it on next week's show. I right now can't remember it. Now, they do make a granule that you can pour right down in it that you can buy out at, I think at Lowe's, that is pretty good. He kept some of that on his tractor all the time, but I can't tell you the name of it. I don't remember, but I'll figure that out, and I'll bring that up next week on the show, okay?
That sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Sorry I couldn't help you right then.
Thank you, caller. We appreciate
Bye.
that. I remember Bill Way had that problem before he passed away, and for some reason the name Amdro, AMDRO, comes to mind as an ant killer.
Right.
But I don't take that to the bank just yet because it might bounce. Okay.
Well, I start trying to name those things and I'll mispronounce them, because I remember one time I was given the name of something to put out to take care of moles.
Yeah.
and I named the name of this granule, and I had a doctor call me up and said, "I think you're mistaken, Mr. Allen. You just gave the generic name for Xanax."
Well, hey,
So I said, "Well, we got moles."
That's true. That's true. We got another call hanging here. Let me hit the button here and give it a second. There we go. Go ahead.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to Tricks of the Trade.
John Allen,
Yes, sir.
I got a problem with voles. Not those, voles.
Uh-huh.
And how do you get rid of them?
The only way I know that has worked is to get rid of the food source of them. And you got to kill all your grubs and your bugs and insects that are in the ground at what they are feeding off of. It's the same thing with moles. But there is a granular substance that you can buy. You don't even have to get this at co-op. I'm going to mispronounce it, I guarantee you, but it's triazamine, or I'm going to mess up. But you can buy it at Lowe's. I know that. It's a granule, and if you'll put that out, and it will kill the grubs, or at least run them over to your neighbor's yard. And if you take care of that, you'll see the voles and the moles go away.
Yep. Kill the food source.
Yep.
Yep.
Hope that helps.
Thank you, caller. We appreciate
Thank you,
that.
John.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
A couple of things coming in is the texter says Ortho, O-R-T-H-O, Ortho Fire Ant Mound Destroyer
That's it.
is one of them. And
Ortho.
then there's another one up here that says Andro. That's what I was thinking, but I had that M instead of an N. Andro, A-N-D-R-O. Get it at Lowe's, texter says. And let's see, here's another one. We were talking about Bemis and the houses out there. Texter says, I was raised in Bemis when the mill was in operation. When it sold to the people across the waters, things went downhill from there. Very sad. I can tell you some stories about the Bemis community. And we ought to do that one Saturday morning. I've got your phone number here, Texter. We may give you a call and talk about Bemis one morning.
What we need to do is get Joel Jackson up here.
Yes, he's the curator of the Bemis Museum.
And he can tell you some tales. And I used to fish in the Mill Pond when I was little.
Yeah.
And also went to a skating rink out there.
Yep.
Drove a city bus, 25 cents out there in the back.
Yep.
And there's some good times out there. So.
All right. One more call coming in here, and then I've got another text, John, we need to get to. Let me get that. Go for it.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, John.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. If anyone goes out of homestead pest control, they will sell you some stuff that's called Advion for fire ants.
Yep.
It's the best I've ever tried. You can sprinkle it over that mound in that one afternoon, and you can go back the next day, and it's completely gone, and it won't come back up nowhere else either. It is gone. It's best.
That's
now,
good.
it's expensive. You get a gallon container, and it's about tax and all about $45.
Right. Well, that's good, and that's
you go out there. Dave, I think the guy, I can't remember his last name, that owns that. It's right there at on Airways.
right.
At that, you know where it is, I'm sure.
I know exactly where it is. I use
Homestead
them.
Pest Control.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're
And it's a professional used stuff, but he'll sell it to you, and I guarantee you sprinkle it on one time, and your ant problem is gone.
all right.
I've used it for years now.
Well, I appreciate you calling and sharing that. Uh-huh.
Advion. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, thanks for calling. We got to take a break right now.
Yeah, we're going to take a break and be right back, and we have another entry from the Ghost Poet to talk about when we come back. So, caller, if you'll hang on there just for a minute, about a minute and a half, we'll do this and be right back with you.
Oh yeah, we make it easy. Point, click, drive.
Upgrading your vehicle vehicle at Victory Honda of Jackson just got faster and easier than ever. Go to victoryhondajackson.com and click on the Upgrade Program button to get your trade-in value in seconds. Print it out, bring it in, and Victory Honda will give you 125% of that value. Your trade is worth more than ever right now. So there's never been a better time to upgrade to a newer vehicle. Get 125% of the book value for your trade right now at Victory Honda. Just go to victoryhondajackson.com, then come into Victory Honda on Highway 45 Bypass to trade in and trade up today. Upgrading your vehicle is just a point-click drive away at Victory Honda. To 125% of the block book wholesale value minus restocking, recommissioning, and other fees. Subject to Carfax report. Excludes internet vehicles. See dealer for details.
At XMC, your Xerox authorized sales agent, we manage your printing so you can focus on what matters most to your business. XMC and Xerox now offer managed print services to help businesses keep track of what they're spending on printing and manage their resources to maximize their office equipment. The average employee prints over $500 worth of documents each year. With an organization of 30, that is over $15,000 annually. Let us show you how you can save thousands by contacting us or visiting our website at xmcinc.com.
Here at Jackson Off-Road, we are a complete automotive service center that does work on area business fleets, servicing and repairing both diesel and gas engines. Our experienced technicians and advanced technology will upgrade your company's vehicle's performance, saving you significant dollars. Graham Snack Food said, Jackson Off-Road keeps our fleet of vehicles on the road in a timely manner, regardless of what repairs are required or what time of the day or night we call for service or repair. Jackson Off-Road, online and on the 45 bypass.
Hey, that's it.
Hey, that's us.
We got talking over here off mic and forgot all about that. Thank you for our texters and our callers so far this morning. We'll take some more. We've got about another 25 minutes or so left in the show, but we need to talk about one of our sponsors. We have two great sponsors here on the show, and I'll let you pick the one you want to talk about first.
Well, let's talk about West 10 Fence Company.
I just happen to be the one I have up here.
That's right, and I don't need no stinking piece of paper. I can talk about these folks just from actual experiences. But if you want a good fence, no matter what you want to make it out of, anything from chicken wire to wrought iron, they can put you a fence up. It'd be a pretty fence too, and it's one you'd be proud of. It don't have any wrinkles in it, no droops.
Yep.
It'll be straight as an arrow. And if you want a gate in it, that's even better. They get really high tech on that stuff. They'll put you one of them things up that you can just push a button and it opens.
Yes.
And it'll even close.
Look out. That must go with that deal I got. You know?
Yeah, you got a good deal on yours.
I got a good deal. I had them put up a fence to keep my dog in, and it did that. And lo and behold, it also keeps things out.
I'm telling you.
I hadn't had a critter come in there yet.
You got a good deal on that, and they can do you one too. Anybody out there, give West 10 Fence Company a call. Call Terry Hamlet over there and let him come out and give you an estimate on what it's going to take to how many pennies you got to save to get what you want. But you know, in this days where they want you to go out these little TV shows and do-it-yourselfers, they want you to buy these sections of fencing. Yep. You know, 8 foot wide, and you go out there and you put a briar in it and you put your instant fence up, and then the first time it get a little wind, it blows down, or the staples that they put it together with will rust in two and your boards will fall off.
Yep,
they don't do it like that.
And all that rusty stuff runs down the front of your board.
Yeah, wrong kind of nail. We're going to make a show on rusty boards one day.
There you go.
I got some stories to tell about that. But anyway, we kill a lot up here, but I'm going to tell you, folks, I use this company. I use them exclusively, and if there's a fence on one of my projects, you'll see West 10 Fence Company out there taking care of it. So give them a phone call. They are on Hollywood Boulevard, right out there, just a little dab past where Old Hickory tees into it.
Yep.
On the left, you'll see the sign, and give them a call.
Yep.
And we got a phone number on them over there, don't we?
We do, 668-5959.
There you go. That's right.
It's that simple. Yeah, absolutely. Good folks, and if you tell them you have a specific problem that you need to address on your fence, in my case, it was a wind problem tearing my gates up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, don't worry about that. We can take care of it. And they did. They reinforced that double drive-through gate with metal on the backside of it, and it's going to have to be a really big win for it to mess up this time. So
That's right.
They'll take care of you, absolutely. We got a text coming in on the Victor Honda text line here, John, and it says, Rusty Boards was my name back in college. Well, thank you, Rusty, or should I just call you Mr. Boards?
Yeah. Sound like we had a little discipline problem there.
He must have got whooped with a rusty board every now and then.
Oh, boy.
Have mercy. Yeah.
Do you ever remember those stories in school? You're going into a new school and somebody's wanting to spook you and make you act right, and they'll tell you about the principal had a paddle with a nail in it.
Yeah.
A rusty nail in it.
A rusty nail.
And he'd sting or they'd bore holes in it.
Now, that was true.
Yeah,
I
well,
saw that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Tom Fan was the owner of that
That's
instrument.
right.
Yes, sir. He could lift you off the ground with it.
That's exactly right. They don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
That's what's wrong with
they
youngins
can't do that
nowadays.
anymore. They'd be under the jail and their paddle would be thrown away.
That's a shame.
Last day of school, my senior year, there were two guys in my phys ed class decided they were going to get Tom Fan down on the ground.
Uh-oh.
And I think one of them has passed away now, but the other one's listening. He'll know that. But they, in the old gym over there, Jackson High School, if you've been around here for a while, they accosted him coming in the door from the parking lot. They both jumped on him. Mr. Fan walked them all the way across that floor. They never got him on the floor. Never said a word. We did our PE, came back out, and we were about to leave, and he called their names in a voice that I can still hear. Quiet but mean. You boys stay here for just a moment. And they stayed there, and as we were walking back across the gym floor headed to the next class, you could hear that paddle coming. Whammo! Oh, man.
We got
because Tim, no, Tim's got his winter shorts on today. We were kidding him about that yesterday down at the Coins for Kids thing. Tim November bringing some stuff back from the remote yesterday. So text line 410-7560. You know how to do it. 731-891-6161 will put you on the voice board. You can talk to John directly. And we've covered everything from rusty boards to icicles on Christmas trees. And when will Santa be in residence in the house downtown?
He'll be there the first weekend of December and stay right on up to the
till he has to go home.
Yeah. Well, we got to go get that sleigh loaded.
That's exactly right.
And we got the lights up. Rudolph's down there getting ready to make his test run, jumping over the house, kind of getting in practice. We don't want any damage from roofs around here from sleigh rails, hitting the top of the roof.
Yep.
So.
Rudolph's a little hyper. He's a little ADHD. You know, he likes to jump.
Yeah, he gets excited. Yep. He does. But anyway.
I noticed, we were talking about Christmas, I noticed that the Shadrach thing out at the ballpark has fired up. They'll be there till January, I believe.
Yeah, how about that?
The lighting thing out there. Yeah, so anyway, a lot of things you can do and stay in your car and stay safe. And yes, thank you, Ghost Poet. I forgot we mentioned it earlier, and I forgot to go back to it.
Oh, well,
so he reminded me. This one has to do with the combination or the relationship between you, John Allen, and your TV cousin Tim Allen.
Uh-oh.
And it's a question. It says, Tim Allen's home improvement, he got hurt on every show. Was it based on John's career? We need to know. I guarantee you he don't have a fix for a bump on the head like you did. Number one, they couldn't put that on television.
Yeah. Hey, things happen. That's all I can say.
If it works, it works, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It, yesterday, I'm going to tell you a little story, true story.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Now, I got a call. It was a panic call. I mean, lady was hysterical.
Yeah.
Going to have a wedding at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It was 11. This little event was going to be held on the water.
Right.
And they had ropes that went around where they were going to perform the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
and somebody had gotten out there the night before and cut and frayed the ropes, and they were on the ground.
Oh, man.
It was horrible.
That's tacky.
And they were going to make pictures, and they wasn't able to do the photo thing that the bride does, and it's her day and all that
Sure.
stuff. Had to have the ropes fixed. Well, now, these are shipyard ropes. You know,
the
they're
big
about
ones.
an inch and a half in diameter. You can't just go run out here at Ace Hardware or someplace and pick one up, although they may have it. They may have it.
Yep.
But anyway, we had to get the ropes up, so you got to do what you got to do. So went out there and didn't have any baling wire, which is what you normally can fix anything with, if you know what I mean. But I did have some lamp cord, and I stripped that lamp cord and run it through the hole and twisted it around the turns of that rope just to hold it in place to where the pictures could be made.
Right.
And said, don't anybody lean on the rope or you'll be in the lake. And all is well. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Oh, I know that's the nature of your business. You get calls where something is unexpected has happened, and they got water squirting all over the place, or the lights are blinking in the house, or they won't come on at all. Speaking of blinking lights, don't get away before I talk to you. I got a problem with one at home.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so that's just part of what you do. I mean, I would imagine when storms come through, you get some crazy late night phone calls.
Well, I do, and we'll get into one of those as the prognostication of ice and all that comes later on in the winter.
Right.
On things you can do to be prepared.
Right.
But they'll forget it if I tell them right now.
Well, that's true. Let's take our last break, and we'll come back and finish up for this Saturday morning. Text line is still open, 731-410-7560. Call in number 731-891-6161. We'll be right back with Tricks of the Trade.
Nashville's best variety show, The Token Show, is coming to Freed-Hardeman University Friday, December 4th. As seen at the Ryman, The Token Show will bring you comedy, world-class vocalists, and Nashville's best session players before you hear from star of film and television Gary Sinise. Be part of this one-of-a-kind holiday experience at the FHU Benefit Dinner. Visit fhu.edu for tickets and sponsorships.
I don't feel like I'm 23 anymore. Lack of energy during the day, difficulty sleeping, reduced mental focus and memory, weight gain, including belly fats, reduced sexual desire, and performance. Studies show after the age of 30, most people produce 3 to 10% less hormones each year, and I felt it. I decided to do something about it. But I didn't want 152 shots of synthetic testosterone per year. What I discovered is changing my life. All testosterone replacement is not the same. Hormone pellets contain the same chemical structure as your body's natural hormones. They're placed under the skin and release bioidentical testosterone consistently to the bloodstream and last up to 6 months. Same thing with estrogen for females. I feel great. I don't want youth wasted on the young. I want it wasted on me. Feeling better for you can start with a simple phone call.
Dr. Shannon Bone at Advanced Rehab and Medical. It's 731-503-4277. It's 503-4277. Call today. 731-503-4277. You'll be glad you did.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085. 800-555-2085.
It is 10 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour. Jimmy Leach, the investigator, coming up as soon as we shut down here on Tricks of the Trade. Here's a reminder for you. Sunday, November 15th, is Turkey Talk Day on y'all.com. You can also see this show today on y'all.com. We are talking turkey, sides, recipes, how-tos all day long on Facebook. So follow us on Facebook and Pinterest for informative articles, videos, and recipes all day long on Sunday, November 15th. That's y'all.com, the ultimate guide to the South. Amen, brother. John Rawl is the owner-operator of that outfit, and he's here doing video for us this morning. We've got a call coming in, John. Let me click the button here and see if we can get her on the board. There you go.
All right.
Go for it.
Good morning and welcome to Tricks of the Trade.
Mr. Allen.
Yes, sir.
Hello. I have gutters. I have leaves in my gutters. Those guards that they sell at Lowe's, do they work, or am I wasting my money?
Well, I'm not sure what they sell there. Describe them to me a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
It's a mesh that goes over the gutter. It's a plastic with a real fine mesh over the plastic.
If it is a real fine mesh, yes, it probably will work. But you said something that disturbed me a little bit, and that you said they were plastic?
Yes, they're plastic. They're plastic, and they've got a fine mesh over them.
I would be a little concerned about the plastic part now. And the reason I say that, over a period of time, that plastic, the ultraviolet rays from the sun, are going to break that plastic down and make it real brittle. So if a limb or something hit it, it may shorten the life of those things. They make those micro mesh covers that are all metal. I really prefer those. Now, they cost a little bit more, but you don't ever have to do it again. And
where do you get them?
Well, call Economy Siding, one of our show sponsors. I buy all of mine from Stormy there, and he can sell them to you. He's got a truckload of them. Had a shipment come in last week, and they're in 4-foot sections, and they clip in or they'll screw in. But if you'll call Economy Siding, he'll fix you up and sell them to you, or even install them for you if you need him to.
Okay. Obviously he's local. Where's he located?
He's out on Hartsbridge Road. In just a minute,
I can give you the phone number if you like it, caller. Just call out there and ask for Stormy, or anyone there can help you with him. It's 731-424-0778.
And he'll fix you up.
Yeah, 0778, right. And we got a text coming in that is directed at your question. It says if you have squirrels, they'll chew those plastic ones up.
That's exactly right.
He said it's happened to me, and those little varmints chewed the metal and the plastic ones, but the plastic ones they did damage to, the metal ones they probably didn't. So,
well, good luck.
Good deal.
All right, give Stormy a call. That'll be a good. Thank you for calling this morning.
All right, that's a great lead into our other sponsor. That's Jackson Economy Siding and Windows.
Yeah,
right here in Jackson.
Yeah, yep. You know, that's another one that I don't need a sheet of paper to talk about them, because I've worked with these folks for 30 going on 40 years, and if you want some vinyl siding, or you need replacement windows, or you need gutters or gutter guards like we were just talking about.
Yep.
You give Stormy a call at Economy Siding, and he will fix you up. They can sell you the product. They can come in and they put it in for you. They're neat. They're quick. They'll come in. They'll clean up the mess. They'll do a job that you'll be proud of, and you won't have any callbacks on it.
Do they clean the gutters before they put those on there? So you got a nice, good, fresh start.
Yes, they do.
Thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll do them, and as a matter of fact, they're going to be putting them on my house next week.
Mine too. Yeah. Soon.
I had them old ones on there that expanded metal mesh and all the leaves sticking the top of it, and all I got is a gutters full of sludge with leaves stuck in the top. I got trees growing there. I mean, Not a good thing. But anyway, they're going to put them on because I had a little storm damage, a little tree damage, and I just decided to change them out. So give those guys a call. I can vouch for them. As a matter of fact, if they come to your house and mess something up and they don't do right, give me a call. I'll go over and rough them up a little bit.
There you go. There you go. You can also check them out online at economysiding.com if you're a techie and like to do it that way, or give them a call at the number 424-0778. They will take care of you.
Yeah, that's right.
We got about 2.5 minutes left in the show. What else can we delve into?
You know, I promised a lady, and I'm going to do it real quick.
Yes.
People called in and asked me about some ceramic tile. They were getting cracks in ceramic tile on the floor.
Yeah.
And it all has to do with the substrate. If you've got a foundation, a crawl space under your home, you're probably susceptible to having cracks in your ceramic tile floor because your subfloor is not thick enough and it flexes a little bit when you're walking on it.
Right.
That's the downside of ceramic. It also happens if it's on a concrete slab and they didn't put reinforcement in the concrete that's down there that the tile is glued to. So if you're putting down a subfloor and you're wanting something that's going to hold up their ceramic tile, your subfloor has got to be at least 1.25 inches thick. Now that does not include the cement board that is put down just for adhesion. You can't count that. That has absolutely zero significance. So make sure you got 1.25 inches of wood. You have no movement on the floor. Your joists are not springy. And then put your cement board down and then glue your ceramic down, then you ought to be in pretty good shape. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, you're going to have a mess because your grout's going to crack, your tile's going to crack, and you're going to have a problem.
Absolutely. Yep. Good information, and texters and callers, we appreciate what you have done for us this morning. We love to do the show when we're talking to and with someone else.
Yeah.
So it makes it more fun for us and more informative for the other people that are out there listening. And again, thanks to Economy Siding and Windows on Hartsbridge Road for being one of our sponsors each week, along with the West End Fence Company out on Hollywood Drive at 668-5959 is their number. So you can get the outside of your house all spiffed up at one time on this one little old radio show.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything interesting coming up other than the Aldersgate Stew this coming weekend?
Just a day at a time.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
You know, we're under this crazy mask mandate, and I won't be reading lips this week.
December 29th, I think, is the drop dead date on that one. Till then, yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen all the particulars on it, but I think it's not a lockdown. I mean, they're not locking things down and telling you to stay home, run hide in the basement like presidential candidates do from time to time. But when you're out, you need to have the mask on.
Well, Santa may have a shield, but he won't have a mask.
Well, it'd be kind of hard to mask that big beard.
That's right. It's tough.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right. And come on, children. He's gonna bring you in, let you deal with Christmas the right way.
Jolly old Saint Nick will be there beginning December 1. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
somewhere along
the
in there?
weekend that is.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a big to-do out of it and announce it so everybody hears about it.
Yeah, check out the Jackson Sun today. John said he's on the front page. Not he, but the Santa House is on the front page. And good way to get your Christmas mood going.
There we go.
You got it. See you next week, man.
I'll be here.